Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is brought to you by BeSimply.
Stars, trees, clouds, and the moon. They all have a meaning and they look just like you.
Welcome to the segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is Suzanne, and I want to thank you for being here today at this midpoint before we come upon the next lunar cycle. We are connecting to the ether and our awareness and this beautiful tool of gratitude. Now, I shared a little bit, I believe, last week about the ether. We're in the fall season and spring here in the earth plane. And in this dimensional plane, we have the great gift of being able to experience physicality through our human suits, through our senses, through nature, all these amazing things. And then there's this component that is called ether, in the sense that it is this substance, if you will, that is like the transmitter and the sticky stuff. So in Chinese medicine, we look at the fall season as the element of metal, and that having some governance on the lungs being the organ. Now, the reason I share this is because in Ayurveda, we look at this time of year as a major element being air. But the ether is really the way to look at this. And if you think of the lungs, if we look at that, and the fall season, we are feeling that air. The trees are dropping their leaves, and our lungs, what happens? This is a time proactively to nourish your lungs. And if you have a susceptibility in this area, this is a time to really shore up maybe your food, your tonics, your supportive measures to keep you in well-being. And so rather than talk about metal, because this is, I believe, a little bit of a psyop in the modern world of Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, and even naturopath ways, is that we're looking at something that doesn't correctly explain what we can access. And it's that this conduit that transmits the charge. And really, when we're looking at the balance between the masculine and the feminine, we have light and water, fire and water. And then we are surrounded with this ecosystem that helps keep those two elements in check. And this is so important to start to understand this concept, because it's been shrouded. And that's why you will see a lot of people fixated on labels. You'll see people in mental pathologies and physical pathologies, diagnosis, focus on these micro remedies, I guess, that are supposedly going to do something for an isolated organ or an isolated condition, and really looking at the holistic system. And to look at a holistic system, one needs to consider the spiritual body. And that is something that where it's like the separation of church and state, the separation of science and faith, and really they do a dance together. And now rising up, especially in the fields of medicine, quote unquote, it's like all science-based. But we have to realize both in science and faith, there are tricksters. And this means that if someone decides they want to prove something a certain way, they will really focus a study or focus a scripture to corroborate that which they want to prove. And sometimes this has great outcomes in both realms, yet there is some ethics that are required. Now, this ether, this mysterious ether that helps transmit, through the air, sound and electricities, you're electromagnetic. And when we have a clear understanding of our integrity and our focus and our values, it really allows you to engage with the ether in a way that's very holistic. And also would keep you questioning and asking and willing to walk around everything, all elements, all conditions, all factors, to see what is and what is being transmitted. And in the age of degradation, there's been a lot of manipulation, a lot of that quote unquote gaslighting. And hence why there's been this need, I think, for people, because they're uncomfortable, to keep labeling, and making it really confusing. When we look at this aspect of ether, there's a mystery involved in it, meaning that there's something expressed beyond what's visible in the physical realm that we're so blessed to experience in this human form. And then it comes forward and back. We're in constant reciprocation through the vehicle of ether. And it takes integrity to work with that. So up until this point, from a spiritual aspect, we have been allowing certain things to keep us under mind control that actually would circumvent your ability to listen clearly. And when we have a bias or an attachment or grasping, definitely this helps keep yourself from seeing what is and fully receiving what's needed from the unseen. And when someone's not ready to hear or take action, they will trick themselves. They will talk themselves out of what they're doing. They will make excuses. They will point fingers at other people, all these things, when really it's, taking a soft gaze and getting really clear with yourself. So in both spring and fall, we have this opportunity of a shedding and clearing to get really honest, like a cleansing, if you will. And this is why when we do this, we can really feel the transmissions. And this is also for those in the Northern Hemisphere right now, when some traditions, some cultures have a time where they really commune with those that have crossed over, because the veil is thin. So think about it in the sense of the trees are shedding their trees, not all of them, but some of them. And when there's more room for the ether to move, there's more room for you to breathe effortlessly, as all that substance is going to the earth and building up composts for your winter to spring. So what this means is that if you start to get acquainted with this continuous bridge that goes from out, like if you just think of your voice, you're in a canyon and you shout out into the canyon and you wait for the echo to come back. This is the dance that we're in with ether. And where it gets sticky is that if we're not in integrity with our energy, if we decide to lash out, and in spring and in fall, these are very emotive seasons. And this is a great time to do emotional work and communication work. And so what can happen is that all of a sudden, maybe we experience something traumatic, a loss, whatever it might be. So we're in grief, and we might lash out with that grief in ways that aren't appropriate to people, places, and things. If you have a good community, they will have compassion and understanding. However, ultimately, we want to bring awareness into every moment so that we can ride that wave, whether it's difficulty or if it's some good fortune that's happening to you, that we ride that wave within being steadfast, so we could be very clear as to what is being transmitted. And this you could see on the mat, like with someone that's working in martial arts, their presence are very clear with the energy being moving back and forth. And so part of where we've been distracted is that we really haven't been encouraged to understand this element of ether. And it's been shrouded even in these Eastern modalities. They have become very Western, meaning that people are like, well, treat my cramps, my menstrual cramps, treat this, treat that. But really, they are very intuitive, poetic practices and are not meant to just be treating symptoms. It's to bring the whole system into harmony. And that requires the soul to be addressed, the spirit to be addressed, and cause and effect. That is going to always be the quickest way to get to the root, not just in the physical body, but the emotional, spiritual, and mental body, so that the healing and transformation can happen. And this is very dependent on understanding the ether. And if you think about how special it is that our lungs, if without our breath, we are not existing anymore in the physical form. I remember someone saying to me, I didn't realize that asthma was such a serious thing. And I'm like, yeah, we need our breath. If you can't breathe, that's a problem. At least in physicality, it's a problem in this physical realm, not having your breath. So when we connect with our breath and we connect with our awareness and this transmission, this is a powerful opportunity to really bring yourself back into balance and harmony, and to make a conscious decision where you want this ether to go, where you want this unexplainable alchemical charge to go, with the vehicle of water and with the vehicle of air and earth, all of these things around you. And fire is that charge that helps propel it, the electromagnetic field that propels this substance that has vibration. And that's why you're seeing a lot of people jump on the train of sound, and they're working it. They want to understand sound and frequency and harmonics and electricity and all these things that have an impact on us. Now, there are beings in this earth plane that have been utilizing sound, acoustics, and electromagnetic fields to engage with you. I'll leave it at that. And you have a whole field, a biofield that's yours, and no one else is to invade that without your permission. So if you and I are having a chat and I come closer to you than your wingspan, you at that point are giving cues that it's okay to sit close to you and talk to you, look in your eyes. However, it's not okay for anyone to impose their will on you without your consent. And this is why in a meditative practice, it's really important for one to master what's going on in their mental space, and to be very aware when they transmit, because it is the ether that transmits your thoughts to the world around you. And you may not have sharpened your telepathic skills or have even an understanding that you're a two-way radio, yet you still have the responsibility of those thoughts. And I would hold my kids accountable in their younger years for their thoughts, because they are can be destructive, not only to self but to others. And imagine there's the Museum of Tolerance. It's in Los Angeles, and I believe there's a couple others, one in DC. I've been in the Los Angeles one, and there's a tunnel you can go in there, and it's actually to teach you what it feels like for a bunch of people saying really not nice things to you. But the same happens with our mind. And this is why in Eastern traditions it's taught, and this is why the meditation is so important, to keep the mind clear, to not be so indulgent, to throw your thoughts out or throw them internally, because it has a ripple and it builds. And so for some of you, that might be a little overwhelming. Feel free to reach out to me to help you in your meditative practice. It's important to have an instructor and someone that's skilled. I consider myself that, also have a level of ethics that I hold myself to keep you safe. And most people, because it's become a very in vogue thing, don't treat it with such reverence, but it's important. And this is why, if you do have a busy mind, you want to quiet it, because you're creating a lot of noise that doesn't need to be there. And during the season, this is why it's also can be a little frenetic, especially in the fall and spring, because these emotional bodies are jumping up and creating these disturbances that can rattle us. And that's why grounding is so important, keeping yourself tethered to objective reality. And this is where awareness works really well with ether, because as you refine your skills of being able to receive and give with consciousness and awareness, you will start to understand what comes in and out. And if someone's emoting at you and is in a phonetic state based on something happening to them, but it's like feels like an attack on you, it has really not a lot to do with you other than they feel comfortable enough to do that with you. And it's their suffering that they're sending. And it's easier to do this, especially in these two seasons. So that's why working on your emotions and communication this time of year is so, so important. So with awareness and a clear mind, then you can be really certain what you want to transmit, if anything at all. Imposing yourself on people, places, and things 24/7 is exhausting and will diminish your great work here, because you're always, getting up in anyone's business. And this is where people that have suffered from trauma and have developed their empathetic skills like on overdrive, meaning that they're always feeling everyone in the room because they want to keep themselves safe. And then sometimes they're imposing themselves, and sometimes they're taking on the emotions of someone else. And we really want to dial that in and just be aware of ourselves. And then if you're aware of your field, again, it's your wingspan, all the way around. If you were to measure your wingspan, that would be your biofield, and it would create a sphere, a ball all the way around you. And from there, this gives you a good sense of your space. What's your space? And then if someone comes into that field, you've either welcomed them or you can ask them to back off. You just need a little space or time, or excuse yourself, that kind of thing. And so then when you have that awareness, as you peel back your own layers in your spiritual practice, you will start to discern that speaking less is equally as important as thinking less, and getting very conscious with what you're communicating and why you're communicating something. And then as you settle more and more, you will become still. You'll return to your natural state of being, which is calm. And now the reason I put this other aspect of gratitude is this gift that we have. If you're a human here, us humans have the ability to express gratitude with great sincerity, and it will automatically, kind of like being in service, will automatically start to shift your resonance. And within that, as you shift, your exchange through the ether will be in a different frequency. And it's kind of like this: if you're pissed off and you're ready to take on the world, that being transmitted is going to attract that and keep you from seeing all the beauty around you. It's gonna distract you from really seeing what's around you. The same with stress, anxiety. It prevents you from seeing the beautiful sunlight coming through the window, prevents you from seeing the trees. It prevents you from just retaining calm so you can experience what is in your highest and best to be exchanged with you. And so if you find yourself in one of those emotional states that is not serving, and the affect is going way up or way down or left, right, and center, bring yourself to gratitude. Find one thing to be grateful for, to re-anchor where you want to be and what you want to transmit. An example is, if you want to have more joy in your life, then the willingness to actually share joy, meaning give joy, then you can receive it in the world. You're ready to receive it. But if you want to stay angry and expect joy to run up to you and give you a hug. It may or may not happen, depending on how altruistic the person is. But more than likely what happens in that instance, when, let's say, if someone's angry, we're using anger because that's a spring emotion, and someone approaches you, there's a great repellent with that emotion, great repellent, and oftentimes an unwillingness to shift the barrier. So the bridge is to have gratitude. And the same will be for grief, to have gratitude for, let's say you lost someone, just to have gratitude for all the moments that you had with that person. And it may not have been as long as you wanted, but to have gratitude and cherish those. And it starts to change how you relate to maybe the loss of the person in your life, but like, wow, I have all these experiences and memories with them, and that's such a gift. So this is this opportunity, especially in these 2 seasons, to really work with this. And the opposing element is the tree. So we have the ether, the wood energy, and the tree. Not the axe to chop it down, not those metal elements. Those are all in the earth, and they support us year round, and we get a little deeper moment in that late summer season. So I want you to play with it. What's the dance with the trees in and around you, and feeling the roots, reach down into the soil to keep you anchored in these 2 potentially volatile seasons, but there's a lot to build upon in them. So with all that being said, welcoming you to just ground into this moment, come up into an upright seated position, taking a nice gentle breath in and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. One more inhale. And exhale. Good. And then gently from there, if your mind is busy in this moment, I welcome you to find a focal point down in front of you and to gently gaze there as you continue to follow your breath. gently from there, I welcome you to gently lean back and recline or move fully into Shavasana, a prone position on your back with your palms facing upward as we transition into receiving sound. As you settle in, just take a nice gentle breath into the heart and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then continue to follow your natural breathing pattern. Anondo ane ai, ane ane om, ano ane ai, ane ane ram, ane ane ram. Adodo ani je ai, ane ani om, ado ani ai, ane ani om, ane ani om, adodo ani alam, ane ani om, ano ani ai, Taking a soft, gentle breath, breathing in and out, welcoming you to gently bring your awareness back to my speaking voice. And as you continue to breathe in and out, gently bringing yourself into an upright, seated position if you wish. And then as you reach up, lifting that spine all the way up and then dropping your shoulders down. And taking another deep breath in and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. One more inhale. And exhale. And so as you prepare to move into the next, I welcome you to stay here as long as you wish, as long as you have space to do so, or maybe you're going into slumber. And I want to also welcome you to express gratitude for yourself, all aspects of self. This is so important to understand that all aspects of ourselves serve. And yes, we might have jagged little edges. More than likely, we all still do, because we're in this dimensional space to work those things out. But to give gratitude helps you meet it differently. And then I also welcome you to start to have awareness around this unexplainable vehicle that helps transmit from your physical, your soul, transmits from your soul out beyond, and then it can be received in the unseen realm and in this third dimensional realm. So as you sit with that and just be with it, I welcome you to bring more awareness to it, to be really ethical with that transmission. Because as I mentioned, you have a field around you and it's yours to govern. And the same is like when we impose ourselves on our collective co-creation, we want to be aware when we do that. We really want to be aware. The analogy could be placing a road where it doesn't need to be because we think it's a good idea. Just because we think it's a good idea doesn't make it a good idea. So we allow ourselves the space, and meditation is this great vehicle to do that, to sit, be, listen, see what comes back. And we don't have to make choices in an instant. We don't have to move at stealth pace. And in fact, in this biofield, this earth biofield, we are welcome to be in a flow that's similar to how long it takes to grow a seedling, how long it takes to grow crops, in these cycles that are not fast paced and move so rapidly. So give yourself that permission to really find your rhythm, listen, and giving yourself the space to hear what is needed to keep you in harmony and balance throughout the rest of this lunar cycle and throughout this fall and spring season. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here in this moment. I also want to thank the contributors, Random Rab, Dante Marino, Kadri Scott, and we're going to exit out with little fields of flowers. I saw a beautiful quote today that, and I don't know who said it, unfortunately, that escapes me right at the moment, but it was basically saying that the flowers are the reflection of the stars from above. And I thought that's a beautiful way to look at it, and that the essence that they emit and how our flowers serve so much. I think those little flowers might create a good contemplation for interacting with the ether. Until next time, this is Suzanne signing out with a full heart, a soft gaze, a deep bow, and a namaste. Be simply.
grabs me and holds me tight.